Students, as yesterday we have learnt about how to determine the standard reduction potential of a particular electrode with respect to C. We have discussed about the EMF of a galvanic cell, and we have learnt how to calculate the E0 cell with the help of reduction potential given. Now let's see the difference between EMF and potential difference. As yesterday we have discussed that the EMF means electromotive force. So it is the difference in the potential of two half cell is known as the EMF of the cell. But what is the difference between EMF and potential difference? Potential difference is also the difference between the potential of two half cells. But EMF is the difference in the electrode potential when we are talking about an open circuit. When we are talking about an open circuit, it means current is not flowing through the cell. It means the current is not flowing through the cell. While when we are talking about the potential difference, it is the difference in the electrode when current is flowing through the cell. It means we are talking about the open circuit when we are talking about EMF. That is the difference of potential when no current is flowing. But here the current is flowing means open circuit and closed circuit we are talking about. What is the EMF? When we are talking about the maximum voltage that can be obtained by a cell, it means we are talking about the EMF of the cell. But the potential difference, as it depends on the resistance, the internal resistance of the cell also. So it is the less value than the maximum voltage that can be obtained by a cell. So here it is the maximum voltage because it does not depend on the resistance of the cell. It is independent to the resistance of the cell. Now the next thing, so that it is responsible for the flow of steady current. It is responsible for the flow of steady current because it is independent of the resistance of the cell, while it is not responsible for the steady current because it also depends on the resistance of the cell. Now it can be measured by the potentiometer, while it can be measured by the simple voltmeter. Why it is so? Because in the potentiometer we are to apply the equal and opposite potential difference to the cell, and there is no net current flowing in the circuit. While if we are using the voltmeter, the current would be drawn by the voltmeter. So it can be obtained by voltmeter because we are talking about the closed circuit, while here we are talking about the open circuit. That's why it can be measured by a potentiometer. By the voltmeter, current would be drawn. So that is the difference between the EMF and potential difference. Now let's see, we have discussed about the electrolytic cell and galvanic cell completely. So let's see the difference between the galvanic cell and the electrolytic cell. So as we have discussed that galvanic cell is that device in which we convert chemical energy into electrical energy. Means, as we have discussed the zinc copper cell, the voltaic cell, in which the chemical energy is converted into electrical energy, while in electrolytic cell the device convert the electrical energy into chemical energy. Means we are to provide the electricity to convert that energy into chemical energy. As we can see with the help of these diagrams, here I have taken the modern form of the galvanic cell, that is a Daniell cell. It is also a zinc copper cell, in which what we have done, it is the example of galvanic cell. What we have done, we have taken a copper vessel having the copper sulfate as an electrolyte that work like a cathode here. As in the zinc copper cell, the copper rod work like a cathode. In the similar manner, it is working like a cathode, and here in place of salt which we have taken a porous pot inside, in which we have taken a zinc rod that work like a anode having the negative sign So it works like an anode having zinc sulfate as a electrolyte inside, and it is being connected by the voltmeter. Now as at anode the oxidation takes place, so the flow of electron would be there from anode to cathode, and the flow of current would be there from cathode to anode. It is a porous pot by which how to maintain the electrical neutrality, as we have used salt bridge to complete the circuit as well as to maintain the electrical neutrality. So electrical neutrality would be maintained by the migration of sulfate ion, because here the deposition of positive charge would be there in the solution of zinc ion. So the sulfate ion will migrate from inner pot to the outer pot. The sulfate ion, the excess of sulfate ion would be there nearby copper electrode. So sulfate ion will can migrate from copper sulfate to zinc sulfate, by which electrical neutrality would be maintained. So that is the cell in which we are to convert the chemical energy. Spontaneous redox reaction would be happening here. So chemical energy would be converted into electrical energy. And while in case of electrolytic cell, we are to provide the electrical energy by which the electrolysis process would be taken place, as I have taken the example of copper sulfate solution here, copper electrode here. So here we are providing the energy, the electrical energy to the system, and it would be converted into the chemical energy for a non-spontaneous reaction that we have already discussed. So the first point is, in the galvanic cell, it is a device to convert chemical energy into electrical energy, while in an electrolytic cell, it is a device to convert electrical energy into chemical energy. As it is based on the spontaneous redox reaction. It is a spontaneous redox reaction because the reaction is happening by its own. So del G would be negative here, while it is a non-spontaneous redox reaction being spontaneized by providing electrical energy. Otherwise it was a non-spontaneous reaction, so del G would be positive here. In this case, two electrodes are generally suspended in separate beaker. As I have told you the case of Daniell cell, in this also we have taken two pots. In one we have taken copper electrode and other we have taken zinc electrode, while in this case two electrodes are in the same beaker. Now the next point is, electrolytes taken in two half cells are different. It means in one half cell we have taken the zinc sulfate electrolyte and in other we have taken the copper sulfate electrolyte, while in this case the electrolyte taken is same. One electrolyte we are to take, as we have taken the example of copper sulfate solution here. In the case as you have seen, as at anode oxidation takes place, so electrons would be there on that zinc rod, that's why anode is negative and cathode is positive. While in this case what we are able to see, cathode is negative and anode is positive. At cathode the migration of positive ion would be there, so copper ion will migrate from the solution to the cathode, so cathode is negative and anode is positive. Here we see the electron move from anode to cathode, while in this case electrons are supplied by the external source, by the battery, and it enters from cathode and released towards the anode. Now here in this case we have to use a salt bridge or a porous pot to separate out two half cells, while here in this case there is no salt bridge or porous pot needed. So these are two important differences that can be asked in your examination, and it must be clear by the related topics. Now switch to the next topic, that is electrochemical series. So what is the electrochemical series? Basically that is a group of metal and non-metals which are in contact with their ions are arranged on the basis of their SRP, standard reduction potential. So with the help of SHE we can calculate the standard reduction potential of different metals and non-metals, with the help of which we can see number of applications are there of electrochemical series. We can compare the oxidizing and reducing property, we can see the strength of reducing and oxidizing power, also you may say the reduction potential and oxidation potential, with the help of which we can discuss number of applications with the help of electrochemical series. So today we will only learn the electrochemical series, and on Monday we will discuss different applications based on electrochemical series. I have taken number of important members of the electrochemical series. As I have told you, it is on the basis of standard reduction potential that has been calculated with the help of She. So here we are having the number of members as lithium, potassium, barium, strontium, calcium, sodium, magnesium, and so on in the series. So here, as we are able to see, we have seen here the electron accepting tendency of these metals and non-metals also. So I have written the first value, that is in negative, and I have not written all the values because you are not to remember these values. But here, as you are able to see, in case of hydrogen, we are having the value of standard reduction potential as 0.00 volt. For lithium, that is the first member of the group, is minus 3.05 volt, and the last member you are able to see, that is plus 2.87 volt. So we are able to see we are getting the highest negative value to the highest positive value till last of the electrochemical series. It means we can say here we are able to see the increasing, reducing tendency. They all are accepting the electrons, and that is showing the increasing, reducing tendency as the value from negative to become the positive one. As I have told you, we have compared with She. To the She, we know the value is 0.00 volt, and those which are having the less reducing tendency are above hydrogen, and those which are having more reducing property in comparison to hydrogen are downward here. So we may say that is showing the increasing, reducing tendency of a particular metal or a non-metal. Or you may also say, we know that more the reducing tendency, strong would be the oxidizing power. So we may say increasing strength of oxidizing agent. Those who can reduce easily would be a strong oxidizing agent. So we may see here that if we compare fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine, from all these four, the fluorine would be the strongest oxidizing agent. So with the help of this, we can discuss number of properties. So we will see that afterwards in the application. First we will learn the series. So there is a trick by which you can learn the series and can compare if the question would be given to you that which one is a good reducing agent, which can displace hydrogen from an acid or not. So number of applications are there. The series here: lithium, potassium, barium, strontium, calcium. So you'll remember like this: Le K. Le means lithium, K means potassium, Baba means barium, Sarkar means SR, Ka means calcium, Na means नाम. Le के बाबा सरकार का नाम. नाम means sodium, Na. मंगल, मंगल means Mg and Al. मैग्नीशियम and एल्यूमिनियम, इसको एक साथ बुलाएंगे मंगल. Mn यानी मैग्नीज में, पानी यानी वाटर H2O, जम यानी जिंक, कर यानी क्रोमियम, आया means iron. But you have to remember Fe2 positive is here. Those which are having variable valency, they comes twice in the series according to their valency, but I have taken some of them only. Now you have to remember till now. एक प्रोवर्ब बनता है यहाँ से आयरन तक. लेके बाबा सरकार का नाम, मंगल में पानी जम कर आया. Till here only. Now the next one, we have taken cadmium, cobalt, nickel, tin, lead, हाइड्रोजन, कॉपर एंड आयोडीन. इसके लिए दूसरा प्रोवर लर्न करना होगा. Cd यानी कैडमियम, को यानी कोबाल्ट, नहीं मतलब निकेल, सुना मतलब Sn, Pb यानी प्लम्बस वी हैव टेकन हेयर, फिर भी, H2 मतलब हंसी, Cu मतलब क्यों, I2 मतलब आई. Cd को नहीं सुना फिर भी हंसी क्यों आई. यहां तक के लिए आप इस स्टेटमेंट के थ्रू लर्न कर सकते हैं. लेके बाबा सरदार का नाम, मंगल में पानी जम कर आया, Cd को नहीं सुना फिर भी हंसी क्यों आई. तो ये मेंबर्स आपको इस तरीके से लर्न हो जाएंगे. यहाँ पर बस ध्यान ये देना है कि जो वेरिएबल वैलेंसी वाले मेटल्स हैं उनको मैंने मेंशन किया है. जैसे Fe2 पॉजिटिव यहाँ पर लिया गया है, कोबाल्ट 2 पॉजिटिव लिया है, 4 पॉजिटिव नहीं लिया है यहाँ पर. इन द सिमिलर मैनर कॉपर 2 पॉजिटिव इज देयर. Thereafter Fe3 positive is hereafter I2. Fe2 positive to Fe is after chromium and Fe3 positive after iodine to Fe2 positive. Afterward you are to remember some of the names only as silver, mercury, bromine. Mercury would be there of 2 positive valency, not 1 positive, because 1 positive is above the Ag. So Ag2 positive, bromine, chlorine, platinum. Afterwards let's see oxygen. It means again we are talking about water. दो जगह पर हमने water की बात की है. This one in which we are able to see that water is converted into hydrogen. Water is converted into hydrogen means oxidation state from +1 to 0. It means reduction is taken place. So in the electrolysis process, as I have told you, that water would be dissociated into H ion and OH ion. So when we are talking about cation, we will see for this water molecule. When we are to send the hydrogen ion towards the cathode, we will talk about this water. But when we will talk about OH ion, it means I am talking about this water. Here, as we are able to see that if I am talking about water, तो water में oxidation state O का कितना है, -2, and in O2 it is 0. From -2 to 0 it means oxidation is taking place. So when we are talking about anode, it means we are talking about oxidation of water. It means we are talking about this water molecule. So dissociate करने की जगह कुछ बुक्स में water से भी दे रखा है. तो जब आप बात करेंगे कैथोड पर तो आप बात करेंगे रिडक्शन के बारे में, जब एनोड पर बात करेंगे तो इस ऑक्सीजन के बारे में बात करेंगे. क्योंकि यहाँ पे हम SRP देख रहे हैं इसलिए रिएक्शन उल्टी लिखी हुई है, बट आप इसको इधर से स्टार्ट करके इधर की तरफ भी ले जा सकते हैं जो मैंने आपको OH आयन से बताया है. नाउ लेट्स सी. सो दीज आर सम मेंबर्स दैट यू आर टू रिमेंबर एज Fe3 पॉजिटिव I2 के बाद आएगा, फिर Ag, Hg, ब्रोमीन, क्लोरीन, प्लैटिनम, ऑक्सीजन, देयर आफ्टर गोल्ड एंड F2. What is main that you are to remember is the order of iodine, bromine, chlorine and fluorine. इस पर questions बहुत आते हैं. You have been asked the comparison between the oxidizing property, the reducing property. तो stronger reducing agent कौन है, oxidizing agent कौन है. तो like this you are to remember only these, or you can make the statement by your own also. So on Sunday you are to revise the chapter till now. And on Monday we will discuss about number of applications and some questions related or based on the electrochemical series. That would be very interesting. If you learn this electrochemical series, you'd be able to solve number of questions by your own without seeing the values. If values if is given, then it is very easy to solve that questions, but if values are not given, then only with the help of learning this series you can give any of the answer related to the applications of electrochemical series. Thank you.